I just got this invite. It is time to try out Adobe FireFly, and I cannot tell you how happy I was. I was waiting for this moment for a long time. So once you have this email, click that link, and then that will ask you to sign up for an Adobe account. Just click that account and sign it up. You can use Google also if you want. So there are a lot of easy ways to sign up. After you sign up, there are certain instructions that are given to you, which is generally about generative AI, especially in Adobe case. So if you get unexpected results, use the report button. And like everything else you create with Adobe, you are responsible for what you're using with generative AI. And then there are some guidelines about what you can create and what you cannot create. So it says do not use Adobe FireFly to create any of these things, illegal activities, promotion of violence, and depiction of things that you shouldn't do it. So it has got a list of things that you shouldn't ideally use Adobe FireFly for. Once you click and activate it, there are two important things that you can right away see that you can use it. One is text to image, and the second one is text effects. Text to image, I think we are quite familiar with. Text to effects is something that I'm really looking forward to try it out. But then there are other examples that they have given you for you to get inspired. So they have a full gallery where you can see what kind of prompt that has been used with this image and what is there that you can try out and copy the style, whatever you want to do. And when you scroll down to the bottom of the section, you would also see what other things that they are planning to release, like in painting, personalized results, text to vector, extending an image, which is out painting, 3D image, text to template, sketch to image, text to brush. So there are a lot of different things that it seems that Adobe is trying to do. It almost feels like Adobe has tried Stable Diffusion, Automatic 1111, and then try to make it a user-friendly interface. I would like to first try text effects. Once you click that, you would be again greeted with a small warning. You can check what is in there, like how do they collect the data, how do they address bias, certain guidelines, and what you shouldn't do. And once you click done, you're going to be greeted with a completely new world. I don't know how many of you here are old enough to remember word art. When I was a kid, whenever I used to use presentation, I used to use something called word art. I think it was in the Microsoft ecosystem where you can generate different designs of words. And now I want to try it out. All I wanted to do is I want to say I want one little coder and give me in flower style. Like I want one little coder written in flower style. And as you can see, it started creating. Right now, it almost looks like it's a little, text masking, and then from there it fills in the detail. But whatever the technology or however this has been done, I think this is quite impressive. When you see the final outcome, especially like one little coder completely in the flower theme. And it is not just this thing, like always give a feedback to the AI system. It helps them to build good products, and it also helps the entire community. So now you have certain options. You can submit it to Firefly gallery. You can copy it to the clipboard. If you want to report, you can report. And again, you can download this. When you download this, there will be this watermark that Adobe has helped you create will be there. And when we talk about only this text effects, there are a lot of different things that you can try. There are different effects. Like the effect that I was looking for is the flower effect. But then again, there are a lot of sample effects that are available. Nature related effects, material and texture related effects, food and drink related, like food products being part of the text effects. So you can select that anything that you want, like ice cream, cookies, popcorn. So if I select popcorn, again, as you can see, that text one little coder is there. It's almost like masked in ControlNet. And then popcorn gets filled in with every single letter that is available. It takes a bit of time. That's why I'm quite interested in knowing how they are doing it. It almost feels like, the letter is sent there and it is masked, something using ControlNet or something, and popcorn is actually filled in there. So that's what I am expecting, but the end result is quite impressive. Like if you want to have one little coder, which is the channel name here, one little coder embedded or popcorn embedded on one little coder, you can literally see what has been happening. And there are a lot of other effects that are available. And this is quite mind-blowing. You can see the gallery and see what kind of things people have been building with. You can go, when you hover on it, you get to see the effects that people have been using. And it's actually quite brilliant and impressive what Adobe has done here with this. I know a lot of interface, like for example, Lexica.art was doing this at the start. So Adobe has almost taken, it almost feels to me that Adobe has taken Automatic 1111 and Lexica.art and created an interface. You can write one little coder with wool yarn, the effect that you have typically, like wool yarn in the yarn letters. and it actually works pretty fine. Like you can see, it is quite slow once again. It takes a little bit of time to create these yarns here, and you can see that it says one little, and every letter, it's not even sequential. So that's why I felt like it is doing something, but the end result is quite good. Now if you do not want background color, you can remove it. You want a different background color, gray color, blue color, purple color, you can select any background color that you want. Sometimes it's good to have a background color, sometimes you don't want a background color, and it can be used for your Twitter bio, LinkedIn bio, YouTube cover. A lot of places you can already see this being used, where you have got text with multiple effect. Now if we jump into another world which we are quite familiar with, this which is the text to image world, you can see that they've got a bunch of examples that you can right away see. For example, retro audio device, interior decoration, like some Cynthia theme, some place. So you can pretty much see certain things that are available, which can give you inspiration to start with. And as you start hovering, you can actually see the prompt, and you can select to explore it. And once you reach there, you can select the aspect ratio, landscape, portrait, square, widescreen, and then you've got a bunch of styles that you can use. And you can select the content type, and within that you can select the color and tone, what kind of color and tone that you want to use. Anything that you select gets added as a filter here. Then you can select what kind of lighting you would like to select, studio lighting, dramatic lighting, whatever lighting that you would like to select. And the most important thing is, again, composition. Like how do you want the final image? You want a blurry background, you want a close-up, wide angle shot, depth of field, macro photography. You can pretty much select anything. So let's select macro photography, and with the same prompt, exploding photon flowers, acrylic paint, maximalism. No other style, just macro photography. And when we give this, it takes a couple of seconds, but you can actually see that it has tried to go to the close-up of that picture and take a shot. I think macro photography is better explained when you have something like this: a beautiful ladybug on a leaf with a dew drop. I think this is like the cliched macro photography picture. I've given this only with macro photography as composition, and the output is taking time a little bit. And once you see the output, it is actually mind blowing. I'm not sure like if I can easily say that this is not a human generated image, because it is so awesome and pretty good that it almost feels like it's like shot on a good DSLR. Now let's add studio lighting to it, and then say a beautiful portrait of a young Chinese girl. I think this is a prompt that I've been testing with a lot of different systems, starting from Stable Diffusion 1.4. Write this, click generate. Once you click generate, you get to see. Again, you can add the effects that you want, but once you click generate, you can see how this is creating the images. I wouldn't say it is as good as what I've seen with Stable Diffusion 2.0, Stable Diffusion 1.5, Analog Diffusion when it comes to human portrait. But again, this is a very naive way of giving the prompt, where I've just said beautiful young Chinese girl. I want to change it to beautiful young Indian girl. And when you change it, this is the kind of pictures that you get. Again, I wanted to try this just to see how cosmopolitan their data set is. It looks pretty good. Like Adobe has previously said that they've used only consent images with consent, photographs with consent. So it almost looks like it's a good mix of data set, where you can select different Indian images. Now you can play with different settings, you can play with different effects. Like for example, you've got effects like palette knife, layered paper, neon, chaotic. So you can play with the different effects to see how it does. But when you get into the effects, you can see that it starts breaking a little bit. Certain things are not that good. It is good. It almost looks like holy pictures. It is good, but it doesn't like have that perfect effect. So overall, I'm super impressed with what Adobe is offering in terms of text to image. Even the gallery is like full of inspirations. It kind of reminds me what Lexica Art was doing at the start. So it almost feels like, I keep on repeating this, almost feels like Adobe has taken the best of open source world and the best of whatever services are available on top of Stable Diffusion and put together a product called Adobe FireFly. You can see amazing creations people have created, like shoes and arts and teddy bears and natural landscape. I think the end result here is pretty amazing, and what people have been doing with this thing, I am so excited to see this. I'm like so lucky to have this access. I think this entirely takes this entire AI art or graphic designing to a new level. I think Adobe is going to make this quite standard with the existing products that they have got, and I cannot wait to see how exciting people are going to be when they look at Adobe Firefly. I'm going to do a separate review of text to images and text effects of Adobe Firefly. If you have any questions, let me know in the comment section. Otherwise, see you in another video. Happy prompting.